Hello everyone, Neve here, and today I have a new deck. This is another Japanese deck. This is in the same family, I guess. The same series as my Ryujin Kado, and that's in this deck here. And here is the bag that I made for it, and that is featured in one of my videos from a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so this is the Ryujin Kado. You guys have seen this a lot. I'm doing a full-on study of this deck at the end of each month. Or the beginning, it depends on where the ending of the month is, and my upload schedule, because I upload on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So yeah, anyway, basically at the end of each month, I'm going over a few of the cards from this deck in order, and posting reels of me reading in Japanese from the guidebook on my Instagram. So if you're interested in watching those, please go check that out. So this is kind of in the same series. It's at least by the same author. Which, well, maybe it's not the same author, because I don't see the name on here, but I think this is a name. Hold on, let me focus. I think we have a name here, which I think says Ono Yuriko. So, yeah, that's what I see here. I think I said that correctly, but I don't see that title, I don't see that name here, and I'm not quite sure what some of these things say. Yeah, so I'm not sure, but they're by the same company, I believe. So anyway, I was under the impression that they're the same, like they're very similar, because there's larger versions of these cards, and I chose to have the minis for combining them with tarot cards and stuff, and yeah, and maybe eventually using them kind of like I do Lenormand, which in that case I prefer smaller cards, and I like the size of the Ryujin Kado a lot. Sorry. Here we go. I really like the size. It's nice and compact. I think my camera's pretty zoomed in here. Yeah, so I'm really happy with this deck, like a lot, and I'm still trying to get to know it, and yeah, so there's lots of videos of this one on my channel, and I did keep this out here because I would also like to try to pair it with this a little bit and see how that looks. Now I will say one thing that kind of bugs me about this one, and I haven't even opened it yet. Like, the only thing that really bugs me about this one is that the size is different than the size on this. Like they're small, and here's the backs, but they're not quite the same size as the Ryujin Kado. They're the same height, I believe. Let me get this stuff out of the way. All right, I'm fumbling around here. So the height is the same, but the width is different. This feels a bit more bridge size, whereas this is slightly wider than bridge. I do really like the size of this, though. So this is going to get take a bit to get used to, and I believe there's more cards in here, because there's 38 of the Ryujin Kado, and I think there's 48 of this one, but I'm not sure. Let me see if it says somewhere on the box. Let's see. And by the way, this... Did I even say the name of this? Oh my god. Like, I am being such a bad YouTuber. So this is the Nihon no Kami-sama Kado. So I'm just going to be calling these a Kami-sama Kado. That basically means divine beings cards. Because this one is a Ryujin, which means dragon gods. Kado means cards. So I call this the Ryujin Kado, dragon gods cards. These are the gods and goddesses of Japan. So Nihon means Japan, no is a qualifier, and Kami-sama. And that essentially means divine beings, great gods, something like that. It doesn't mean gods and goddesses, it just means great gods or great deities. So yeah, divine beings. So I would, I guess, interpret that as divine beings of Japan. So it is the Kami-sama Kado. And I guess I could just go through this. If I lay it like this, there's a glare. So I'm gonna do this. So they have the name of it up here, and then what's nice about this is down here at the bottom is all in hiragana, so I can actually read that, and I can pick up here and there what some of these mean, like kami means God at the end there, but yeah, what I like about these series is that they're very dynamic. It's just simple imagery with block coloring that kind of conveys a feeling, and that I like. And oh, look, there's a similar symbol here. I wonder if that's important. So I am just going to go through this, and then I'll take a look at the book. But let's just look at the cards first. So that's very interesting. Yeah. So, O Yabi Konokami. See, I can read down here. And I don't think it's saying what's up here, but maybe it is. Sheen, because Sheen is also the symbol here. This is on the Rujin Kado, but this is a symbol that the kanji that we're seeing in each of the 3 decks of this series. The Rujin Kado, Ru means dragon, Jin, divine. So divine dragons, the deities basically, or gods. And then we see that here as well. It's hard. This font is different, but let me see if we can see. Let's see if we can see a better image of it. All right. We're not going to see a better image of this because this font is actually a little difficult to read, and that's what's on these cards. But it's the same kanji, so that's why I'm going to pull this one out. It's the same kanji, but it's read differently in each of the decks. So in this one, it is Rujin, so Jin, and this one is Kami-sama, so Kami. And in the third one is the Shintaku, and that is Shin. It's the same kanji, but it's Shin. And that's one of the features of kanji. They're kind of read differently, and but Shin and Jin are kind of said the same. Like it's just a mutation of the sound, and it's really because it changes from Shin to Jin because it's the second kanji in this kanji grouping here. So. Yeah, it's which is a feature that's also in the other language that I'm primarily learning, and that's Irish. There's also initial mutations in that as well. But I do like the simplicity of this art. It's very basic, and oh, this makes me think of that river spirit in Spirited Away. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so. And so these supposedly are gods. I haven't quite checked that out in the book. We'll look through the book in a moment. Ooh, I just dropped a card. Here we go. And it is like that. There we go. But what I find that I like about these decks is that it's because the imagery is very simple. I'm able to pull out some meanings or connections when I combine it with other decks. So here's the cover image. So, Amatera Suomikama. It's very difficult to read this font though. So, I would say that's a negative of this deck. But I am really liking the images. The block coloring, I think, is something that I really enjoy, especially with my divination cards here. And I do really like the size of these, too. That's a cool image. Very basic. Okuni, yeah, Okuni. So that's the same thing here, and Kami right there. So maybe this is saying maybe this is the pronunciation of what's up there, but like some of the other ones, I didn't think they aligned with what was up there. But this looks like it is, because it's Okuni, And then this says Meishi no. Meishi. I'm not sure if that says Meishi or not. No Kami. So, yeah, because that is the symbol for Kami, God. And see, that ends in Kami as well. So, and this is Meishi no Kami. So, and that's the same symbol. So, Kotoshi, what is that? Is that Ro? Kotoshi Ro? Yeah, this font is a little difficult to read. Kotoshi Ro Meishi no Kami. Maybe it is. See, I'm learning as I flip through this. I'm near the end. Don't worry. Yeah, because that connects too. That's cool. If that's the case, I actually do kind of like that because it kind of helps me understand the kanji up there a little bit. Now, there is an extra card here at the end, and there's nothing on this, and it's not in the book. Because I did already look through this a little bit, and it's still in order. There's nothing written on this card, and there's nothing in the book pertaining to this card that I could see. So, I don't know if this is an actual card in the deck. It looks like it could be like a significator card. Like if we put that in the middle and that's the significator and we have the kami-sama around it. So I don't know. But I'm going to leave it out for now because it's not in this book. So this book, it opens the other way because it's written vertically. And that is a feature of Japanese. If it's written, if the words are written horizontally like that, it's usually like this, where it opens like a normal English book. So the Ryujin Kado opens from left to right. Or yeah, it's read left to right. Whereas this book, because the information in here is written vertically, it's read from right to left, so it opens this way. So Nihon no Kami-sama Kado. So there's an index in the beginning. Hajime ni, introduction. And then it goes, so here's all the introductions and how the cards are read, things like that. I don't see spreads in the beginning. And then it goes into the cards themselves. So it says the title right here. And I do believe, I think the hiragana that's on the bottom is how this is said. So that makes sense. And see, here's that symbol kami, which means God or divinity, divine, or spirit even. Well, yokai is more spirit, but yeah. So I'm not going to go too far into this because it's all, it's probably not going to make a lot of sense for people. But this might be pretty easy to read, though, because there's just one little blurb for these, which I like. And then that's the last card. Yeah, and it does not say anything about that extra card. So I'm going to shuffle this. And in fact, I'm going to count this first. I'm going to pause this and count this and make sure that I was correct in the number of cards in here. Yes, 4 groups of 10 plus 8 here. So 48. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this, see how this shuffles. This is my first time shuffling because I did pull this out. It came in last night. It was in my mailbox when I went to check the mail at 7 at night. So it does shuffle nicely. I think because this one is just a little wider, it's easier in my hands to shuffle. But this does it's got a very similar cardstock. Which I like. It's bendy. It is shiny. It is gloss, which I'm not a huge fan of, only because I film my card readings and stuff, and so you're seeing, glare. I'm right in front of a window, and that window also has fairy lights on it, so you're kind of seeing the fairy lights there. So I'm going to shuffle this a little bit, and let's see how this looks with some other decks. So first off, I of course want to kind of pair it with my Ryujin Kado, just to kind of see how I like these together. I'm going to do a quick shuffle of this too. And this one I like to shuffle, and there's 10 less cards in this too, so So it does look nice. I mean, well, I mean, we got the glare here. Let me see if I can close this curtain a little bit, but then you're really seeing the reflection of my curtain. All right, well, let's see. Yeah, I don't want to do it. So we'll deal with the glare. All right. So yeah, of course, because it's very similar styles, I think they go nicely together. I think if I did this, and I'm pretty sure the other one in this series is a lot more like this. Like those two, even the backs look very similar on that one, and that's the Shintaku. So I bet I could do something like this where I would have that one here, and that would look good. And the only reason I bought this now instead of later, because I do plan to try to pair this with another one of the decks from Six Sad Girls. And the only reason I didn't wait for that, because I don't have those other decks, is because this one kept going out of stock. So when it finally came back into stock, that's when I was like, all right, I'm just gonna hurry up and get this, because you know, it keeps going out of stock. That's interesting. This one kind of looks like a butt because it's a peach. It's a peach tree, but it, you know, the peach emoji is also code for an ass. So, yeah, I think I just flipped these ones upside down. Yes, I did. All right. So, yeah, I mean, these obviously go well together. And once I get the other deck, the Shintaku Kado, I think a reading like this where there's the Kami-sama and the Shintaku on either side of the Ryujin. So Shintaku means divine message. So we've got the divine beings, the divine dragons, and the divine message. So that I kind of like. You know, it's a nice little grouping. So yeah, all right. So it looks great, as suspected. I am also going to try this with the Mars Power Tarot, and that is the deck that I use with my Ryujin Kado. Those two decks are kind of married in my collection. Oh, and here's the bag that I made for it. I featured this in one of my latest videos on my channel, so go check that out. All right, so let me pull this out here. I expect that this will go well, but again, the fiery nature of this Mars Power, I think goes best with the dragon energy, but I do think it's also going to look good with this. And I'm going to let's go like this. All right, let me figure this out. Okay, so this is a layout I like to do when I have oracle cards that are smaller than the tarot cards. I kind of like to do something like this, where I have two of the oracle cards in the center, and then 2 tarot cards on either side. And yeah, I mean, this looks nice, but I think what kind of makes this not as good as its pairing with the Ryujin Kado is the white borders. Because with the Ryujin, there is a white sliver down here, but somehow it just looks better with this. Whereas I think the white borders all around the Kami-sama cards are just kind of not quite connecting. Though I do like the lines here. With the 2 of Wands, which is what I have on the bag that I made. That's a patch that came from Six Sad Girls. So one more here, and yeah, I mean, I do like this energy, and look at all the pink in this. That kind of brings out the other colors here. I do like this, but I prefer Mars Power with the Ryujin Kado. Now. This deck is going to pair with either the Star Power or the Moon Power. And as I'm looking through this, I'm feeling like it's probably going to be the Moon Power. But I don't want to pigeonhole it yet. You know, I want to wait until I get the Shintaku cards, along with both the Star Power and the Moon Power in, and then I'm going to kind of play and see which one best suits which deck. So there we go. So all right, so that's done with this. I'm going to pull out some other decks and just compare. Now, before I continue, there's also a few extra things that are at the bottom of this that are like advertisements, but I want to get both of them out so I can look at them here. Yeah, so let me see. Focus. Hello. Okay. Yeah, so little advertisements here. I'm not exactly sure what for, but I'm going to actually skim this a little bit. I looked at it a little bit last night, and I was able to pick up a few words here and there, and this one looks pretty similar. So just typical advertisements, but I like keeping stuff like this because they're all in Japanese, and I can go through and just kind of practice, reading advertisements and things like that are in Japanese. So yeah, just wanted to share that. And I think I'm going to keep the significator card. That's what I'm calling this. It's probably a significator card, but it doesn't mention it in the book. Not that I've seen. There's no big picture of it, at least. So I also pulled out, this might be fun. I pulled out my Star Trek tarot. This is from Telekiad. I think that's how it's said. Obviously the independent version, not the mass market TNG one. This is the original series. And I also have the animated series, which is the majors only. But this is a full tarot deck, and one of my favorites. It's probably my top 10. At the end of the year, I'll probably do another top 10. So let me shuffle this real quick, actually. So a few weeks ago, I think at the beginning of July, I did a pick a card on my Instagram, and it was Star Trek themed, and I used both of my Star Trek decks. Let me split this real quick for that pick a card, and it was pretty cool. I got all dressed up in my Starfleet uniform, and yeah, it was fun. All right, so I'm just kind of looking at the energies. Already we're getting a little bit of a clash because of the white borders, and these ones, they don't really have black borders, but it's got that vignette, tight vignette. So there's a little bit of a disconnect there, but I just kind of wanted to see how this would look. Oh, this almost looks like a Starfleet uniform, honestly. More TNG, but it feels very 90s Star Trek to me. 80s, 90s. And this is the extra card in the deck. But, I'm just kind of looking at the energy here, because obviously I don't completely know the what the cards themselves mean, the Kami-sama Kado. Ooh, this almost feels like an explosion. So it's like, I'm just looking at this. Sorry. Ame no toko tachi no kami. Tachi no kami. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Just kind of checking this out a little bit. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, I do like this, but it doesn't quite match. It's not quite there, you know what I mean? It's not quite there, but it is energy that I feel like I could probably use, and these cards feel very similar. And then we have, and it feels like this Klingon here. Day of the Dove, that's the episode. And then tomorrow is yesterday, and this is the Ten of Cups and the King of Blades. Interesting. Okay. It feels very authoritative almost, but in potentially a good way because of the Ten of Cups. It's very forward thinking, I think. And then with the tomorrow is yesterday, it's interesting. I don't know. It's very interesting. And one more. Let's do one more. See how this looks. Oh, look at all these, the olive color in here. That's really pulling out that olive uniform color here. Very interesting. All right. So, oh, and this is upside down. I just realized that. That's upside down. All right. All right. So the other, another tarot deck I brought out. I brought out the Guardians of the Night tarot here. And I don't know, it just, I was trying not to pick a lot of my Japanese decks because I feel like you guys are tired of seeing those. And And yeah, and I've already tried to pair the Rujin Kado with some of my other Japanese decks, and so I feel like it would give the same vibe. So I was just trying to be when I picked out decks here, I was just trying to go a little bit out of the box. So I did pick Guardians of the Night, and this is the independent version. I love the backs on the independent version, and I love the cardstock. I love MJ Cullinan's independent cardstock. It's very slippy, which some people don't like, but it shuffles nicely, even though these are large cards. I'm not even going to shuffle. I'm just going to split. All right. They're large cards, but I find side shuffling these decks, her independent decks, I can do that. So, and I think a lot of it's because of the card texture and the cardstock themselves. It's thinnish. It's on the thin side, but it's very bendy. There's a nice textured coating to it that just makes shuffling these decks nice. But they are slippy, and some people don't like that. So I am just trying to focus the camera here. Here we go. All right, so how do we like this? This is interesting. This kind of connects to me. This is a Page of Pentacles, and we almost see it's almost mimicked here. Like it's holding up this pentacle, and this almost feels like it's holding up this flower, and then this, what looks like an anchor of some sort, kind of mimics the octopus tentacles here, which I find very interesting. And then these two cards kind of connect. I like that. So I use this deck a lot for my Hindu deities, like Ganesha and Lakshmi. There's just something about this deck that connects well with that, if that makes sense. And I am liking this. I think this is a good pairing. Yes, I am enjoying this. This is, very collagey, very busy, very artistic, whereas this is very blocky and I wouldn't say minimalistic, because it is a lot of colors. It's just, blocky. So I think blocky is the best term. And so, yeah, I'm only going to do a few more of these because I want to get through this quickly. I'm already almost half an hour into this video, and I wasn't planning on this being this long. So I think this is winner. And if you have made it this far into my video, thank you. And please leave like a Japanese emoji in the comments. And if I remember during editing, I'll put some examples up, but it can be as simple as just the Japanese flag emoji. But any other Japanese emoji, go ahead and put that in the comment section so I know that you've watched this far. Thank you so much. All right, one more on this, and we can switch to the next one. So very interesting. I do like this pairing. All right, so I also have a few of the smaller, some of my smaller decks, so that I brought this back down to one card, and I also shuffled this, so we might be seeing some of the same cards here. But I pulled out, this is the bag, my Morgan Greer, and I pulled this out because this is actually a deck that I also use with my Rujin Kado. Like, I joke that the Rujin Kado is kind of married to the Mars power, but every once in a while, the Morgan Greer hops into bed with them. So, and I do like this because I like bringing this one in here because it is of similar size. In fact, let me see the actual size here. So it's a little bit taller. Oh, it's the same width, but it's a little bit taller. So that's what we're seeing here. So yeah, so we can do, this is nice because I feel like this, I don't know, the colors in the Morgan Greer go well with all of these blocky art style cards here, at least to me. This is interesting. I love this card in the Morgan Greer. But because of the bold line work in the Morgan Greer, I just feel like this, it does a good job connecting with imagery like this. It's very blocky. And this actually goes nicely. Look at all that pale yellow that's in all three of these cards. Really like that. Ooh, okay, and wow. So this is, it's carrying a scythe, but it's got a very similar energy to this Nine of Wands here, and then with the tower over here. So Takemi Nakata no Kami. So, interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is a clear winner to me. But I feel like this, the Morgan Greer just goes with all of these blocky Japanese, with this whole series, the divine series. That's what I'm going to call it, the Kami series, because each of the decks in the series have that kanji in it, which basically means divine. So yeah, this is interesting. Yeah. This is, this works for me. It's nice. All right, so another small deck that I have, I'm not even going to pause my video for this. I'm just going to move this to the side. Another small deck I have that I wanted to try out with this is, I think this is the Prisma Visions. I constantly get confused as to which one is Prisma, which one is Cosma. And I keep wanting to call the blue one, and here's the bag that I made for it, the blue one, the Cosma Visions, because cosmic equals blue in my mind. And the other deck is green, but the green one is the Cosma Visions, and this is the Prisma Visions. Okay. And this is the one that's actually a tarot, and this is the mini version. Both of these I have in mini, which I've come to appreciate. I actually feel like this is a little too mini for my tastes, but I've come around to it, because I was a little disappointed when I got it, and I was like, oh, I should have gotten the regular size. And sometimes I still feel like that, but I don't know. I think this is fine, and I think I've kind of gotten used to the small size, and it does fit well with a lot of my small decks like this. And yeah, so I thought this might go really well because of the this is very busy, very colorful, and this is very colorful, but not necessarily busy, very blocky, whereas this is very artistic. And I don't know, I feel like because of all the impressionist kind of quality of the Prisma Visions and Cosma Visions, because I bet it would look similar, kind of lends itself well to this because this sort of brings out some specific colors in the Cosma Visions or Prisma Visions. See what I keep doing. So yeah, I feel like it brings out some of the colors, and I like that. So not every combination is working, but I feel like a lot of the bluer combinations are connecting, and I have a feeling that this deck is gonna look pretty good. Oh, I've just mixed my piles here. Here we go. That this deck is gonna go well with the moon power, if I'm just guessing right now without having that in front of me. Oh, this looked better than the last two because of the tree energy here. But it could, once I get star power, moon power in, I may change my mind, and I may feel like this actually matches with the star power. So I don't know. All right, so that is the Prisma Visions. It was kind of hit or miss. There were combinations that I thought really worked very well, and then there were combinations that not quite so much. And I have one more thing to pull out. So the other deck I pulled out is actually another Oracle deck, sort of. It's an astrology deck, and that is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. So I think I'm going to just do, like, we could do lots of different cool, like spreads. That's the word I was looking for. Spreads with this. Like we could do something like just a 3 card like that, and then 3 cards of the, Kami-sama Kado right there. I mean, we could do something like that. I mean, I know I'm out of frame, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to see how this might look with these, and these are a smaller deck too. So, and I've been trying to use this deck more recently, so I thought I'd try to pull this out and see how it looked. All right, let's put this in the middle here. So, this is interesting. And I feel like combining it with an astrology deck like this could get quite esoteric. Let's put it that way. Yeah, actually, this looks pretty cool. And I do like that both of these have white borders. However, the white is much more stark in this one, where the white in this is a little more muted. So it's not exactly the same white, but it's not as bad as other like whites, different whites and cards that I've seen. So sometimes it's, you know, there's a deck that's a lot more cream, and I do feel like I'm really shadowed on here. Let me open the curtains again and see if that helps a little bit. Hopefully that added a little bit of light, and we're not glaring as much anymore. So yeah, I actually think this this could be a very useful combination of cards, and I'm imagining some spreads using the using astrology cards with the Kami-sama, along with the moon or star power. Yeah, maybe star power, because, but you know, I feel like this would look good with any of these cards. But yeah, because I also have the Moon Oracle from these same creators, but that one's larger. The cards are larger, which annoys me. It's just, you know, it's a little pet peeve of mine when decks that are kind of meant to go together by, like, or created by the same creators or something like that, and they're different sizes, kind of bugs me. And that's why it does kind of bug me that this one is not the same size as my Rujin Kado. But I think that technically the Rujin Kado isn't part of this series. But it is part of this, like, it's the same creators, or the same company at least. And they made mini versions that, I don't know, I just felt like it should have been the same size. But look at the pinks that we're seeing pulled out here for this Venus in Aquarius. And then we have Mercury in Leo, which is drama. You know, very interesting. Yeah, one more, and we'll call it a day here. So yeah, I think this is a good pick to be used with these cards. I think it works out well. All right, so here we go. Here is the Nihon no Kami-sama Kado, the Gods and Goddesses of Japan cards. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!